right, hello and welcome everyone to another episode of the League Community Podcast. I'm your host, Patrick Skarsgård Scarborough, and today we're going to be talking about Midseason with a couple of experts. We'll see how expert they really are. I have Joe Greylock.
He used that line last week.
No, did I?
Yeah.
Oh, well, maybe I'm just going to use it every time. Maybe I'm so unsure about your level of expertise that I need it proved out every time. Either way.
But you get Patrick Skarsgård Scarborough. He gets just Joe Greylock.
I like Joe Greylock. I think it's, please, wait your turn.
I
Sir?
don't even
Sir?
remember your summoner name.
Oh, my Lord. Okay.
Fearless.
Come on.
I was going to say Dread for some
I was
reason.
about to say it for you. Anyways,
Okay.
Joseph
Okay.
Greylock, also known as Fearless, lead designer of the game systems team. Then we have, who so rudely spoke out of term, Christopher Pwiff. Tom,
Pwiff.
also known for one of the worst Riot names in existence.
I always
Probably
thought,
the worst.
I always thought Pwiff was like a name of a little dragon.
It's like Puff the Magic Dragon.
It is. I
I'm
thought so.
gonna accept that.
Reddit told me it was grandma farts, and
Yeah,
that's
thank
what
you.
I choose to believe.
Oh,
and then we
wow.
have
All
James
right, then.
Bach,
There we go.
Static, known to many of you from the Static Shiv,
Yay.
especially the lead designer on Champion Update. All right, guys, how's everyone doing?
I just realized, Static, that you are like OG. James is. By the way, I'm just gonna be calling people by their.
Oh,
by
no,
their
yeah,
first
yeah,
name.
yeah,
J-
yeah. Go for
JB is OG. You are like 4 or 5 years here.
No, this is six.
Six.
almost,
6 years?
man.
Oh my-
6.
wow.
I know
Holy
I look
crap.
like a baby, but
Yes.
Yeah.
James is old. James is
Been
old
here
when
for
I was
6
here, and
years.
I'm old,
Yeah.
and that's just constantly like happy to see things going. So mid-season is a thing now, right? We have, we usually have preseasons. We've kind of done them every year. Tell me a little bit about why we are doing a formalized mid-season.
I kind of don't remember the full answer to this. I actually think I remember we always kept saying every year, like, oh, we want to do big changes to the game. And we always thought, oh, we're going to screw up the competitive scene if we do it sometime in the middle, because there's like big tournaments going on all the time, especially because there's like Korean games and then also American games. Yeah. And so I don't know. I remember us saying like maybe we just do like 2 preseasons a year. And this is kind of it, right? I don't know.
It was especially after like we did a couple of preseasons where it's like, okay, this is getting ridiculous. Like this is 87 pages of patch notes. Like we need to find some other space to do some of these like rules changes.
You say that, but I'm still going to have
Yeah,
to do
that's what I was
90
gonna say,
pages
too.
of patches for preseason.
I was thinking we just gonna have
Yeah.
Don't tell me like it's like, no, now we get to do smaller buckets.
Right.
More of them.
Yeah. I think the good ideal would be that we can hit like these big updates and everyone expects them, because that's probably the biggest thing with the Juggernauts that we learned was we threw out this massive update just before Worlds and we were like, everyone get used to this, and we saw, I don't know if we were really capable of fully adjusting to Worlds and being able to say this is the time you're going to get a big patch and everyone knows this, everyone adjust and kind of go on the fly. That's probably better, I think, for the competitive landscape at least.
It also honestly feels pretty natural to me because I think, James, back when we were doing Balance together, it was kind of a thing where we would always want to like revisit some of the items that we made and stuff, like back when we first put Hurricane and like Hydras and stuff into the game. But it feels weird because you don't want to do it immediately after they come out because you want to give people the time to play with it. So there was kind of always, it felt like a patch somewhere around the middle of the year, maybe, and we'd be like, oh, this seems like a good enough time. So it seems like kind of more formalizing that process.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I feel like for the last couple of years, we tended to have that big patch like far too close to Worlds because like we're just like, oh, we're all panicking. We're like, we need to make this, we gotta change all these things that we think are really broken with the game. But then we kind of waited too long. I think this is the first time we're like, okay, maybe we'll get ahead of the curve this time and make the changes that we really want this year. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm actually really excited that we're trying it.
So getting into those goals then, because this doesn't read to me like looking through the documents that I have open. This doesn't read to me like we're trying to solve problems in time for Worlds or anything like maybe that we've done in the past. What's our purpose for mid-season now? Are we continuing something? Is it new entirely? What's the deal?
Midseason magic. Oh, we're gonna have that out there, dude.
Midseason magic.
I'm so happy with that exclamation point. You have no idea. Midseason magic.
You don't know how many sprint tasks have exclamation marks now just because
Are you
of
gonna
that
film me? I don't know what mid-season magic is.
So by this time, I guess the microsite will be out.
Yeah, microsite is coming out.
We'll have made the
3
announcement.
days before this podcast is
Okay, so the theme, I guess, is mid-season magic for this mid-season.
exclamation mark.
Exclamation mark.
It's either the best or the worst. I can't tell you.
We recorded the spotlight today, and I had to say mid-season magic like twice.
Did you just like
Did you say it with
mid-season
exclamation?
magic?
I didn't say it like that. I thought
Oh.
I didn't know it was a thing. I wish we could go back.
The
Maybe we
exclamation
could do
point.
it.
Let's like just
it's
append
actually-
that.
Okay, but
pretty
it's
important.
about. So what does that actually mean? Memes aside, what is mid-season magic?
It's So I think mid-season magic is, and we'll stop using that as a buzzword.
We're all agreed off the mid-season magic train.
Please.
Right. One of the things that, like, I guess for me, my hope for mid-season that most players are going to take away from it is this idea of kind of playing against your opponent, which I think a lot of people implicitly understand, but don't really. It's not formalized. Like, especially when you get to less competitive players, they're kind of like this idea of like, I just want to do my shit. I want to build my items. I want to play my champion. And that's it. And League is like the other half of it is that chess game, right? Knowing what they're doing, figuring it out, and trying to counter that. And that's one of the things like with these dragon updates, and I think the more tactical kind of mage items, specifically the mage items, like being able to see what they're building, why they're building it. And so, I mean, you can call me on that, but like, Joe, I'd love to understand like the dragon specifically and that.
The dragon specifically, along with a couple of the other updates we're doing, are about essentially breaking the ability to solve the game in a really like hard and steady way, right? Like we've had problems with Dragon where it's either been game deciding too early. If we go like way back, like literally before the game is started, you're having that
fight.
Back when I think it was rank 1, NASA's Spiritfire shredded 30
Oh
or
my
like
God.
25 year
Yeah, I
armor.
remember that.
I was up. I was in the dragon fight, bro.
No.
We were there.
I just remember TF level 1 was just broken. It's like
okay.
a gold card just wins the game.
So it used to be like that. It used to be if you lost that, you lose the game maybe.
Right. And then of course we've swung really far back historically or like more recently with Dragon now is really unsure if it's ever worth, and we're just not seeing it drive any sort of action. So we want to obviously land in a spot in the middle of those two where it is often a point of contention. It's often a point of early fighting, but you can't be sure if it's better than a tower for your team, worse than a tower. What's the optimal trade? We want to really mix that up and make it a much more situation to situation, kind of like Chris Tom's talking about. Rather than, yes, always do X.
Yeah, to me, the exciting part of Dragon really is like when I load into the game now, I actually don't know what's about to happen to some extent. Like, 3 fire dragons can spawn in a row. Actually, I don't even know if you guys did any
I think
system
they can.
changes.
This is the micro sets out. Yeah, so we can talk about it. Yeah.
No, more just like, I should don't
we
know
design
the
locked?
rules in terms of like, did you guys, is it like have to be like, can it not be 3 in a row?
Even
Does it
James
have to-
Bach needs to read the
I'm
patch
sorry.
notes.
There's a lot of patch notes. Okay.
There can be 3 fire dragons.
So that's cool.
Yeah.
And to me, that's the exciting part. Was just like, in this game, I might, be a character who benefits really powerfully off of the dragons that are being spawned. And I can understand, like, sometimes people might get mad that it's like, this game was one-off luck. But I feel like that excitement factor of just not knowing what's going to happen per se is really exciting. I don't know.
I think the important thing though is like it's telegraphed entirely, right? You're like,
that's super smart, by the way.
Right.
I was like, I'm a lead designer, and people are smarter than me because they made that up. I was like, the telegraphing was
right. But I thought the cool thing about it is like the interactions that it forces. Like when you're really behind, you're like, oh shit, they got 3 dragons, and we're in a shithole. But the cool thing was, I think there was like one play test where there was 2, I think, water dragons, and it was like someone, I think it was Leandro running around a sway, and he's like, "This is the greatest thing ever."
Because I think at that point it was bonuses to healing. It wasn't just the regenerations.
And it was pure regeneration,
and so in that test he's like, just burning around.
Right. And so he was like, I'm going to double down on this tank build, and I'm just going to like kind of be split pushing and getting into these little skirmishes. And it was this idea of like, oh wow, you could do that because this thing sort of pushed you into that. I was like, hey, this thing's gonna be really good for you. You should do more of this. And he's like, I'm definitely gonna do more of that.
Yeah, I don't, I don't want it to just sound like, oh, we're just all singing the praises. I think I have some concerns. I think we've even talked about it in this last week, right? Like, how hard is this gonna be for some people to pick up? But I think once I really got down and made some time to play test with it, I've been really satisfied. I think I had a game where I was playing Shen. I was against a Garen with Ignite. And we felt like, and I know that just sounds like rock smashing against each other. We actually made some really cool decisions where we got an Earth Dragon, and then we saw a second Earth Dragon was going to spawn, and we have TF and Shen, and we're like, oh man, that's us, like the tower one, that's us. And so I end up teleporting down to help my team get it, and we win a fight. Garen and his jungler get Garen the Rift Herald, and now he's murdering. He is now the solo bully. Shout out to the cool new Rift Herald buff. But it's like we traded a tower for a dragon and a buff for a buff, and we ended up getting things where I changed my itemization. I was like, let's get Titanic Hydra earlier so I can push down towers. He just went full on damage because they ended up picking up fire later. And that kind of give and take is something, because I kind of hate when games are solved too. I like knowing that I can go in with a different objective than everyone else and say, oh, I want to win, but I want to win this way, or I want to try and amplify this thing. And I do dig that.
Right. To me, that's like, actually the dragon itself is less, the more exciting idea is that we could do even more in the future, I think, actually. Because like, honestly, like for me, when I played Dota, I always played all random because I just like the idea. Just like I go in, I have no idea what's gonna go on, and I'm gonna play some character, and I might get a pentakill, or they didn't call it pentakill.
So you're saying elemental barons?
I build push stuff.
I'm not gonna tell you guys what we're gonna do because I don't know what we're gonna do. But like
elemental barons.
The more things that make me really think and do things differently in the game while still being able to like maybe play my favorite champion every game, that makes me excited. I don't know.
Well, and that was really the fun for us doing a lot of the mid-season stuff is we tried crazy shit this time around. Like we tried the mages in bot lane. We tried all sorts of different things on the objectives. Like we tried, I think 6 or 7 different versions of Rift Herald that Sassy was playing around with, and who knows how many different elemental dragons that Colin and Brian were doing. Like they were just constantly trying out weird things. It made playtests like kind of hellish and interesting for a while.
Like Scuttle Crab reducing your cooldowns by 60 seconds.
No, seriously, that was the word. Lux ulted me, and then like she got the thing, and she just ulted me again. I was just like, that was not okay.
The best playtest, I had 7 Malphite ults before I backed.
Oh,
all right, so real quick, just recounting it. It was when you take the Scuttle Crab, if you go. I believe, do you have to kill it or do you have to be in the little zone?
Yeah, it made a little zone after.
Oh, first person across the zone.
You go pick it up, and doing that reduces, I think it was summoner spell cooldowns and ultimate cooldowns.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right, so there were definitely some crazy combos there. Before we get off Dragons, though, I want to ask one question. I don't want this to be a whammy or anything, but I feel like there's something that I hear a lot when players talk to me about, like, oh, the pro scene is so boring, whatever. And it's are we now, I guess it's 2 or maybe even 3 seasons out, 2.5. Are we comfortable with Dragon not giving gold? Do we feel like that was a really positive change? Because I think a lot of people see some of these early game stagnations and they say, well, I didn't feel like it was the case back when you could, on the other end of the spectrum, right? When teams would fight, they'd take the objective, and then they'd just kind of ruthlessly slaughter everyone because they had snowballed by that point. I kind of wanted to get the feelings of the table is how do we feel about that decision now that it's been like 2 years or so?
One thing I'd mention is like Dragon giving gold. Gold is basically like win, right?
It's just shoot him up with
it's
stats.
Immediate power. That's actually the big thing, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and to me it's like this idea that Dragon shouldn't give gold is basically you prioritize it if you want to win more, and then you don't prioritize it if it doesn't give you enough win more, and so you prioritize other objectives, turrets giving you gold. To me, it's like I think it's better that it doesn't have gold because basically it says there's other ways to win the game, and I don't think that we have up until this point in time really pushed hard on that. And so Dragon giving something else is a cool thing because it basically says you can win in a different way. And it's not just win more with gold. It's like win more maybe with getting 2 buffs. And you get the Fire Dragon buff, or you get like the Air Dragon buff, which is just like you can't catch me, period. And now we're playing this huge rotation game, and my guess is that's going to get really annoying, but that's just a personal thing.
I'm already thinking it's like, oh, there's just a buff where everyone's Janna. Thanks, Joe.
Oh my God.
I love it.
Though.
So,
Okay, all right, got it.
To me, like the weird thing about gold is this is like a very designery thing. It's just like the generic thing we give out to make people do things, right? It's like, oh, if we want you to farm the minions, here's gold. If we want you to push a tower, here's gold. And like, I think it was actually a really good thing that we pushed away and tried different things that weren't gold, because we know we can make people fight over gold because that's the way the game works, right?
Greedy.
And this is, I think, the Dragon buffs are basically an attempt to give you gold that you can't control, more or less, right? Because the problem with gold is you get to buy exactly what you want, and the game's going to go exactly the way you intend. And
you can't choose how valuable split pushing is going to be on a team that maybe can't utilize the Earth Dragon as much, right? Where like Kha'Zix Zed Rengar team getting the fire buff is like, all right, GG, bro. Have fun with all that. I don't know. I kind of thought I figured I'd bring it up because I think it's something that I think you hear a lot, and it in some ways is almost an indictment of the current Dragon system that people are used to on live, right? Is not being enough in the game-ending state. Because I think there was a time when we felt like, very early on we did it. People were like 5 dragons is unbeatable, and then we did some tuning, and now it's like, do I even have them at the end of the game?
Right.
Am I even there?
I mean, I think there is a danger with the current dragon. The way the 5-stack works is that it just feels so backloaded that you don't feel like the ones leading up to it mean anything. And I think gold helps solve that. But I think we can also just solve it without gold too, probably, if we just tried different types of buffs. I know we've gone through a lot of different iterations. But.
Well, I mean, one thing we've been trying to fix for feels like years now is like we've struggled with different strategies don't look or feel different, right? Like an early game strategy, if it's focused around a gold-giving dragon, looks a lot like an early strategy that's focused around towers, that looks around farm control, right? Like it's all the outputs of those champions, how they fight, still gonna look very, very similar. One of the specific goals of this new dragon is if you are a team that is playing for the dragon game, whether it's you're an objective control team or you're a late game team and you're trying to use this to help snowball into late game, like you should actually have to play pretty differently because we're giving you very different strategic buffs so that hopefully those teams that opt into their strategies look different the same way that a team that's going in for Baron and Rift Herald looks kind of different because you're getting pushed out from the normal experience a little bit.
I mean, internally we keep using the word variance. I'm pretty sure we're not going to... Do we use that word outside of the office?
I mean,
no, it's a terrible...
Last I checked, it is a word in the English language.
It's a word. But I feel like... I guess the undercurrent of everything that we're doing right now is about like diversity. We want to make sure every game of LoL really feels different and has different impacts on you. You go into the game and you don't know what to expect, and it's exciting that you don't know what to expect, and then you can make a big play that game for some reason.
So speaking of making every game feel like there's new stuff in it, so recently I was ulted by a Malzahar, and I was devoured by 3 giant voidlings. So why don't you tell me what the hell that's about, James?
It's called Earth mode.
Is that? No. Yeah. So mages, right? This is the other thing. First off, just why mages, right? I mean, we did Juggernauts. Marksmen, I think people felt were kind of disenfranchised for a while. It was mages. Was that motivated the same way or nah?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, this is the roster updates. Do we call them roster updates?
Okay,
roster updates that we've been doing. It's kind of like this huge kind of, I don't want to say crusade. That sounds very aggressive. It's not crusade.
No, it's a crusade.
Now it's a crusade.
No, it's a crusade.
It's totally like this. It's this. We want to go back and visit the entire cast eventually and make sure that everybody is really differentiated from each other and feels unique. And because to me, that's the special sauce of League of Legends. The point is, it's a league of everybody in here is a legend, which means everybody is special and nobody is.
That was
this is deep. This is deep.
I know.
Holy shit.
He's on a roll.
I'm
sorry. That was some philosophical. Okay, let's go.
That's why I started playing the game in the first place like 8 years ago.
Yeah, same. When I was looking through, it was like Card Master.
Yeah,
This guy looks broken, and then he
Big
was
purple Minotaur guy. I was like, oh my god. And you're right. A lot of the reason why we chose mages this time was because we felt like they've been kind of displaced for a while. Like this is even going back to like 3 or 4 years ago. I remember like TSM playing like Morgana in mid. I was like, oh my god, this is so cool. And like I think I played Malzahar in one game.
Yeah.
Like, well, then again, he's got played recently.
This is actually funny.
I saw that
which is
Korean
terrifying.
game?
Yeah, it was great. It was Fly from I want to say Jin Air. Jin Air's mid laner. But this is actually funny. We as a team got together and we watched the season 1 some of the season 1 finals games.
Oh my goodness.
There was I believe it was in the semis or in the quarters, it was TSM versus CLG. Hotshot GG was playing Malzahar, and aggressive Reginald was playing AP Janna.
Yeah.
Oh my.
So this is like if you want to like.
Oh, I remember that.
If you want to like feel old, it's try to even imagine the landscape of a League of Legends where that's happening and like no one's
Games
trolling.
Changed a lot.
Yeah, but explain to me some of this feeling you're talking about, like mages being disenfranchised, because this is kind of two-pronged, because your team is obviously ahead of the reworking and kind of the freshening up of the mages, but you're also kind of working on how do we make them express some of that power through items, right?
Yeah, and specifically, what should mage items do? What items that mages have been buying for a long time really actually flatten their experience? How can we make all the cool updates actually look different and feel different? Because we stop smashing them into the same space with items.
Yeah, I mean, the funny part about I kind of after the marksman update, they got all the cool items, like all the AD items came out. I think everyone
Rapid
was
fire
like,
cannon.
Everyone was thinking, where's the AP items? And like, honestly, that was a big driver too. I think it was just like, oh, geez, we updated the left half of the item shop, and now what's happening to the right side of the item shop? Then again, there's like other sides of the item shop
Yeah,
too.
there's the south
It's
side.
this endless chase, you know.
North
You're
side.
like, they got cool
Yeah,
shit.
There's
Yeah,
wherever,
cool
whatever
stuff.
hell part of the map Wits End is on,
Yeah.
that side of the shop.
For me, actually,
That's out of the town.
the
It's out
one
of the
thing,
town entirely.
the one thing that I've been hearing for like the past 2 or 3 years, especially, was just like mobility creep. And to me, like the mages represented a very specific set of characters that were pretty immobile and felt like they didn't have answers to what the game was presenting them in the past couple of years. And that was actually a big driver for me. It was just like, because I guess for me, a lot of the motivation of working on champions and updating them is to make sure that they don't feel forgotten anymore. And I felt a lot of these characters felt like, oh, you're a champion from 4 years ago. Go be played by like 2 guys that remember 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And that's just not something I'm happy with.
I mean,
so.
you have your anti-bots, right? You have like the players out there
Yeah.
who really
Well,
sink
some of the
time
old
into these
champions
characters.
survived, you know.
Yeah.
Like
but
Annie
not
survives.
Alvin
Like
did.
Zyra, like very few people, if at all, play her.
I think Malzahar is
Sai.
safe to say another one. Malzahar's
Malzahar.
he's been like the secret sleeping god of mid lane for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
And
Well,
you
his-
just like it's like we can't pay people to play that guy because they're like LeBlanc dashed and killed me, and I'm
I
like,
know.
yeah, I'm sorry, man.
Yeah.
But dude, every time I see a
you win
Malzahar
all
in my
your games,
game,
but-
I'm like, oh god, like this guy's
Here
gonna
it
go
comes,
off.
brother.
Yeah.
So you said something, Joe, and I asked you biggest offender in terms of homogenizing mage itemization.
Oh,
What do you think? Because you're saying it's like, we make it
man.
feel like it's diverse, but it's not actually diverse.
Do we get
right
to
now.
guess?
Do we get to guess?
I mean, what do you guys feel? Like, what's the?
Wait, what's the most generic item?
Most generic.
I think it's Zanya's, which sucks because it's the
Wait,
most
it's like
hype
one of the
item to
coolest
use.
No, but see, that's the
No,
thing.
no,
That's
no,
the
No,
thing.
Rod
like,
of Ages.
Yeah.
No?
close.
These days, Roa. I actually like Roa's
Abyssal
getting it there.
Scepter.
Yeah, Roa's
these
just
days.
kind of like,
So
when do you want
yeah.
Roa? Because I want
Yeah.
stats in League of
Everything.
Legends.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, the worst part is like most of these answers are pretty close, right? Like the worst part is like, so I would say Zonya's is not it. But if you look like Morella Namicon, giant ball of stats with
Right.
an active we can't even make
Right.
people remember.
Right.
Morella
Abyssal.
Yeah.
Well, it's basically
when you deal damage to them below 40%, they get a.
No,
healing
he's
buff
talking
'cause
about
Morella.
like, is that the most generic item? I actually think yes, because like it's basically you choose between Athene's or Morello, who's stronger at this point in time.
Yep.
Oh, that's what you're talking about.
And then
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
that's
yeah,
it. Like
yeah.
that's your first rush item.
And also like really condenses everyone into that utility mage space. Like it is
Right.
supposed to be about like, no, you care more about your like uptime than your ability power, but we've pushed it to where it also has a lot of ability power and just is everything you
crazy
need, right?
uptime,
It's
yeah.
just like your tax of being a mage of go buy that item.
Yeah, it's like the only guys who don't care about getting a Morellos or whatever are like
The Roa.
Cassid and Karthus, right? It's like if you're all in on the tier Roa Deathcat build,
Yep.
like battle cruiser mid laner, you typically don't care, but everyone else is like, they got 20% and I'm still on 10%. I can't ever win a fight. GG Riot.
Yeah, and also I mean the mana items were all in a bad spot where like you bought the mana items to get mana. And that's not a thing we do anywhere else in the game, right? We don't say like you buy this component because you just wanted armor, right? Like they do a thing.
Yeah. There's
And
like the
the
chasing
mana
one, the
items-
anti-crit one, yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah, and then these are like no, they're just mana.
So what about Frozen Heart? Frozen Heart was OP. No, it's still OP.
Frozen-
Is it still
Frozen
OP?
Heart's still
No,
OP.
Iceborne Gauntlet's better. Never mind.
We'll get there. We'll
It's
get
weird.
there.
I will
love
say
that.
it's weird that I'm playing League of Legends in a day and age where Frozen Heart is not horrendously overtuned.
Yeah.
Because that's
true.
kind of
It's
been
usually-
like the old standard for me.
Yep.
It's like, what do I do this season? I'm gonna buy Frozen Heart.
Yeah, it's
That's
crazy
gonna
what
be I do.
60% efficiency does to an item, right? Like
Yeah.
You're like,
God.
oh, this is just fair now. It's fine. So what's the new line? What's the new ticket? How am I supposed to itemize in the new crazy world that you're proposing for me, Joseph Greylock?
well, the big thing we're trying to do is like, so obviously we talked about the mana items. A big thing we're trying to do is you don't buy an item for mana anymore. You buy them for the unique things they do. So if you want to heal a ton and cast a bunch of spells, Catalyst is probably a really good thing for you.
I'm in. That sounds sweet.
Right.
that thing,
generally-
yeah, that thing seems so.
If you want to blast people
Oh,
in the
man.
face and have crazy auto attacks, you probably want a Hex Tech item. And you probably only want one because they share a cooldown. So that's
So you
like,
will only get one.
probably just get one.
Right.
And yes, one of them has a dash on it, and one of them shoots ice lasers at people, and there's all sorts of fun stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
I hope it's balanced.
I'm
I played against
yeah.
Vlad one time, and he's
Oh.
just jumping around. I just didn't get it. But I
Well,
hope
don't
to
worry,
God
Vlad
it's
was balanced the whole way through.
Oh, he
This is
wasn't.
never,
No, he
this is
wasn't.
never
No, he
scary,
wasn't.
Dude,
right?
my
Yeah.
I don't
my
know.
dream build is fiddle 40% cooldown with that belt and just like running around and you alt and that I think that thing basically shares a cooldown with the alt. If you get to 40% or 45% cooldown and you have that belt, it's like 40 seconds, I think.
Yep.
You can pretty much just like every minute.
The turbo call
Yeah,
build.
I got this hyper fiddle rushing into everything.
Everyone out there, 45% CDR plus rocket belt. You're not cool. Chris Tom thought of it first. Right?
Proto belt, G's proto belt.
Oh, the proto belt. Oh man, I have it as rocket belt on my notes. Whatever.
I did hear a lot of people talking about like the loss of mana regeneration. And I just wanted to like kind of ask about that and what are our thoughts on that?
Yes, I mean. So we're calling that split out where it's like if you are more utility, if you're more support, you're buying regen, you should kind of always have enough to cast a spell or two. You kind of live or die by that.
Right.
For the actual like no, I kill you mages, these guys are gonna be about a pool and they're gonna have tools to increase their uptime, right? Like we were just talking about, like a lot of these catalyst items have a lot of mana restore on them.
Right.
Also, blue buff is percentile of your pool. Like we're pushing that one really hard.
All right, we buff blue buff.
Yeah, it's real good now. So we are making sure that mages still have tools, but there is a conceivable time where mages will run out of mana and not be able to kill you.
Right.
I think that's a really hard thing to understand why that's. I mean,
A
because
good
you're in a world where we've been having infinite mana regen
Yeah.
for the last I don't know how many years, honestly.
Yeah, you passed the 15-20 minute, like maybe the 15-minute mark.
I mean, honestly, once Athenes was put out, right?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
that was,
Athenes was
it's
kind
just
of
like,
the-
well, that was the thing is if you remember TPA, we'll wind the clocks back to season 2.
Oriana.
Season 2, TPA wins and Toys is crushing fools on Oriana,
All
and he's building Athene's Unholy Grail, and people thought that item was awful. And in an interview, in a post-game interview, he's like, "No, guys, just buy tier, buy Athene's, and you win."
Never leave the lane.
And right after that, it was the Athene's apocalypse. It was like every person is now auto rushing this item, and we kind of started to really realize it was like, oh yeah, all these problems that happen just don't exist when you get infinite mana.
So I mean, like you're pitching like from a very holistic design perspective. It's probably good that mages run out of mana, or at least thinking about it. But it's like if you're an Oriana player who runs into this and is like going up against like a Zed, I'm hearing a lot of guys who are basically saying, "Oh man, resources champions, it's going to be difficult."
Yep.
How do we feel about that? Like,
Well, I mean, we've had a hard cap ever since that era, right? Ever since we're like, okay, the new default is monolith mages, effectively. Right. There's a pretty hard cap on what you can make a mage do, right? Because it's never down. It never stops. One of our big assumptions is that by doing this, James and his crew and everybody else has a lot more space to make things crazy, right? To say, your mage can do something amazing because there's an actual cost to it. How that works into all the resourceless champions, right? There's going to have to be all the safety valves, and we're going to have to probably, after this goes live, we're still going to be dialing that in, right? This midseason is an super experimental window for us, and we're going to have to adjust, but the hypothesis is this gives us space to make mages bigger and cooler because they aren't resourceless anymore.
Right.
There's an actual thing.
I think we're really confident because we've done a lot of designs we're happy with in the past that do kind of play this mana pool game, particularly like Anivia. I really love. I mean, I'm biased towards Cassidy, but like he actually runs out of mana. You know, if you actually play him, and you make really big decisions around it and feel really powerful for it. And so we're confident that we can do that, and I think that's what we're trying to unlock here. And there's, you know, if you still want infinite mana, you still can get it. You just probably will end up with less AP than you wanted. I guess
there is like there's like a combo item build you could probably get that's like buy these 3 and then you're almost never gonna run out.
Right. I mean, this is not to say that you're going to cast like 4 spells and be like, oh, back to base again, right? Like, there's a lot of tools on the map that we're talking about that are forms of mana sustain. That's just not the raw stat mana regen, right? If you want to build mana regen, you're going to look more like a support. Like for an Oriana or a Lulu, maybe that's great. Maybe that's a build you want to opt into, and that's fine. We're not saying it's not going to work. We're just saying that when you build mana regen, you should look more like one thing. When you build mana and damage, you should look more like another thing so that we have space to push those things apart and make those different experiences not just feel like the same thing in different colors.
For people who want to complain about Zed, you're right.
there we go.
Resourceless characters, like those are really hard for us to design around. And like it was an arms race when we started doing energy and like non-resource characters in general, like Ken and Kat and all these characters. Are just like it mana gives us a lot of ways to make the game more interesting, and that's why most characters have it. It's not like an accident that they had blue bars in the first place, right? And so I think it's actually our fault that we kind of let the resourceless guys run loose and not actually pay a cost, you know. So if you're gonna have energy, energy, what is the cost of energy? And I think we haven't really answered that question very well, even though the game's been out for so long.
What was the last energy champion we had?
It was Zed.
Was it Zed?
Yeah, it was Zed.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but
we've made plenty of resourceless champions.
We've made resourceless champions, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, with the latest resources champion was like Gnar.
Yeah, but I even remember like there's like tons of times in tests like even Jin was resourceless for a while because we wanted
Jin
to
just
use his
bullets,
mana bar
I
for
think.
bullets,
Oh, I see.
and then it was just like, let's give him mana, please, and it's like, yeah, let's do that. So I don't know, like I think we need to do a pass on the resourceless characters and make sure they're also paying their costs, and that's why. And that'll hopefully make the game better in the long run.
Until you were talking about like all the tools on the map to get mana regen, I hadn't thought about how much a team within Anivia or Malzahar might really want Water Dragon.
Absolutely.
But now that actually makes sense.
Yeah,
because I think we've been focusing on the health regen part of it for so long.
But that's why Leandro was talking about like Swain with with the mana.
Just went infinite.
Yeah, it was health and mana, and he was just running around like.
So I want to talk about some of the reworks that we're going to be seeing though for a bit, because I think we've kind of been setting it up pretty well, the items and everything that's going to be there. How do you feel about these are about to ship, James? Because this is you and your team, all your little babies about to go out into the wild.
Babies.
Who are you most worried about?
Who am I most worried about?
Most scared.
Yeah, scared.
I mean, it just depends on what angle you're looking at it from. I honestly think like
they all scare you one way or
else.
another.
Who are you most excited about?
That's too hard. This is gonna be mean because like if any of my team hears this, they're gonna be mad.
What's the biggest unknown for this team?
The interesting thing about mages for me is that, with Juggernauts, we kind of went ham. Like, we were really, like, we were kind of like a loose cannon team. We were kind of angry.
Players listening to this are like...
we were kind of angry.
We were just like, yeah, we can't change the game. Like, all these guys hate these champions, and they're just useless. And so we went kind of ham, and we kind of saw what happens when you do that. And Darius kills everyone at Worlds.
People listening to this are like, really? You went ham? I didn't notice. I was just one shot by a mace, but that's okay.
Oh, Skarner, forever in my heart.
I'm opening that wound.
Yeah.
And then Marksman, actually, we're actually really proud of the work we did on Marksman in terms of getting what we were going for, which was kind of like make more distinguished characters and make sure that they feel unique. Obviously, like there was a lot of power stuff that we're still even solving right now.
Graves is so uniquely murdering me right now.
He also uniquely banned him a lot.
Yeah.
Him and Echo.
Very unique ban phase.
Yeah.
But yeah, and for this time around, I think the mages, we kind of wanted to, I don't want to say play it safe because there's some crazy stuff that we're doing, but I think we wanted to understand like where we go crazy, not just everywhere. And I think you're gonna see that like on some of these characters, you're not like gonna be like, wait, that was all they did, and I think that's gonna be a little bit surprising to some people. But to me, that's actually exciting that we don't need to like change an entire table flip a character every time just to make them unique. Like there's a lot of characters in the game that are already really cool. We just need to bring that up, bring it out, and like maybe add a little bit to it to make it work.
Vel'Koz is like my number one for we've been doing the script writing and stuff for the spotlight that'll be coming out in a couple days. And Vel'Koz is one where we were all just laughing because Vel'Koz players are like, "Oh, I'm so excited, my champion's getting updated." Wait a minute, don't you do it? You know, they're the most excited that their character's getting attention, but then they don't want you to do anything.
I felt so bad that like everyone thought we were gonna basically change Vel'Koz into some other champion because basically we were doing that, and I think that's what I meant by going ham.
Yeah, that's saying like the connotation is like, oh, if roster comes for your champion, a bunch of other people are gonna really love it, and you're gonna lose something.
I'm really
special
hoping
to
this
you.
time the Mages update really delivers to the people who have played the champion, over time and really want to push what they feel good about the champion, and to answer your first question, Chris, I guess like honestly, I'm most excited about Brand, but that's not from like a strategic standpoint. I think he actually isn't gonna do a lot in that standpoint, but I think he's just some of the most fun to play because of the mechanic. Because it's just,
so to everyone that works underneath James Bach, you've heard it here. Brand is the best and most successful. Everyone else can go home.
Yeah, most unknown, most worried, just everything across the board.
Brand wins all the midseason awards that we have.
He has the highest chance of just being a ridiculously high win rate at the gate. I think.
Man, really?
No. I mean, I'm just saying he just does a lot of damage.
The thing about Brand, like at least his update is once you really figure it out, then you're like, okay, this is how we play around it. But up until that point in time, you're like, what's that bomb doing on that guy? Why is it on me? And you both just boom, and you're both dead. And it's like, oh my god.
And what's crazier to me is that you can chain react.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was so frustrated. I was so salty when that happened to me because Brand literally just I think he just cast E and R on us.
And then it was like,
well, and I know this now because God bless writing patch notes means I get to like find the mechanics you guys forget to tell me about. But this is a little preview of the remix for y'all right now. Brand's Pyroclasm, it tries to add people to bomb status, but if you have a bomb on you, it will deprioritize you.
Yeah.
So this means that if you
tries to
throw it
multi-bomb.
into a chaotic group fight
It'll
where you're
bomb
already
everyone?
casting spells, it'll be like, how do I get guys 1, 2, and 3 bombed as fast and as efficiently as possible? And it's like, and my feedback to Hairlash was after I was like, well, it works. It's real good.
Yeah.
We just cast 2 spells, we got exploded.
Honestly, like it's I think it's our like we're proud, we're also terrified. Like we're making Pyroclasm a lot smarter because actually it was one of the biggest feedback points we got when we posted the direction update for Brand. They were like, this ult sucks. Because I never know what it's
It's
gonna
such
do.
a cool feeling versus how good or useful it actually is.
Yeah, sometimes it just kills them automatically. Sometimes it does literally nothing. And I think sometimes you will get some of that, but we've made it a lot smarter. But I kind of don't like how it almost auto stacks the bomb sometimes. It just feels so undeserved. But I think it creates cool teamfight moments.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's
called Pyroclasm.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like,
The everyone needs to get away from everyone else moment that happens is it's like people, even if he isn't that strong, people are going to cry Brando P because of the fact that your team is going to run around behind your tower after getting ulted and just chain kill each other.
Actually, I did have a question about Cass, which is probably the most directionally interesting change that we've made. It's like just very slightly, maybe about a 30-degree change. Like the passive, no boots.
oh,
She can't wear them.
Is it called
Can't wear
Slither?
boots. No.
It's called. I don't know what the final name is.
It was called
but
Snakes Don't Wear
the
Boots.
the testing is Snakes Don't Wear Boots.
Yeah, currently I have it written as Snakes Don't Wear Boots.
I'm
That's
pretty sure
our
it's called
passive.
Slither, but
We're gonna leave it at Snakes Don't Wear
Okay.
Boots.
I like
this
the
is
original.
hard. Okay.
Yeah.
But what I just want to hear about Cassio.
Are you actually just bringing up the joke?
No,
or is there, what's the
I'm
deeper
actually
question?
kind of curious. It's like, so we're introducing like a new mechanic, grounded, right?
Yeah,
grounded.
Yeah, Cassio was actually. She's actually one of the more controversial ones that we picked up because we did a rework for her. I don't even remember. It feels like
2 years ago.
Yeah, it feels close. I don't remember 2 years ago. And we weren't really sure if we could deliver the good Cassiopeia that we ultimately could with the scope of roster updates. Roster updates aren't like the what we call VGUs, not the big table flips. We're just like, yeah, those are the crazy ones, right?
Gangplanks, etc.
And a lot of people just thought, we need to do that to make this character cool. And so I don't know. The approach to Cassiopeia was like, how do we make poison actually really cool and interesting? And that's where we started. And that's how we got to the grounded debuff. Was just like, hey, what can poison do that's really cool besides damage? Because there's a tons of poison in the game that's damage, like Teemo and Singe and all these guys. But we started thinking about like paralytic poisons and all these other type of poisons and delayed poisons and all this. Obviously, a lot of these things didn't make it into the game. And so. Also, I think you systems had been toying with the grounded debuff. You guys call it something else. I don't know, like crippled
Hamstring
or
or
something.
something like that.
Hamstrung.
Yeah.
Hamstrung. All right.
Yeah.
Wait, was that on Dead Man's Plate?
No, we had it on various marksman items.
Dead
We were
Man's
trying all sorts of different, like, when we were doing the defensive items for marksman, we were trying, like, okay, what does a marksman need to stop someone from just jumping on their face and killing them? At one point, we're like, you don't get to move block at us. And that turned out not ideal. But
Can't
for
move
a
block
specific champion, it's, I think, a little more interesting.
Right. And so the grounded debuff, I mean, you have the patch notes by now, right? So they'll know what the grounded debuff is.
Yeah.
Well, those aren't out, but the site is out. People know
People
what
know
all
what
the
it
changes
does.
are.
Yeah, basically you can't.
They may not know the specifics.
Yeah, I mean, she'll be able to shut down people with fast-moving dashes and stuff like that. And so we'll see how it plays out. I think it definitely makes her good versus certain types of characters. And
Does she, like, if she lays it down and they just hit it, is it like a Poppy steadfast? Is it?
No.
No,
You can
you
dash through it.
literally can't press the button.
Okay,
when you're
so
on
if
it.
You're
you're
like silenced.
Well, you can press the button.
I
it doesn't
see.
do anything.
You're like silenced
Yeah.
when you're inside of it, essentially.
But she doesn't stop it.
Your move
Your
blocks
dashes are
silent.
silenced.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
But no,
Yeah,
if you're
that's what
Kazakhs, and I might be saying this from experience, you will totally jump over that and just be like,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
this
you
is
can-
the best.
Although
there.
she
And
can
then
just
you'll-
like R you
and then you get
jump.
ulted. And you'll be able to-
Yeah.
But
Then you realize it's like, because I think the area of effect range is like almost the exact range of her ultimate.
It's supposed to be
So
a
you're just
combo.
like, let's go over oh no, I'm so dead. No, there was I really feel for you because this is one that, originally worked on by Stosh.
Yeah.
And then we have Decap Repertoire who's taking it this time around, and it's just been a big question mark for people about what she's gonna do, because we were like, do we do the late game hyper carry thing?
Right.
Decap came to me because he Decap Repertoire, the same guy. He sticks around at the office late sometimes because he does some mad scientist stuff.
Yeah.
And he walked over to me one day and he was like, okay, so what if you put poisons on people and then your team can stun them if they hit people, they like turn them to stone.
Yeah, dude, that was fun.
I was like,
That was real interesting.
But that's how these discussions start, right?
Yeah.
Like that's how,
Right.
and sometimes it ends in Mordekaiser getting a dragon, sometimes it ends in Graves actually having the melee range shotgun, right? But we're always like, what are the craziest things we can do?
Yeah. I'm actually sad. Petrifying Poison was really, like, we were excited about Petrifying Poison, and like it eventually became the Grounded Poison. I don't know what we're calling the W these days, to be honest. Like,
It's still miasma.
I think
still
it's
miasma
miasma,
still.
yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, I honestly like the Cassiopeia update. I think is us kind of saying sorry a little bit. It was like we kind of goofed a bit and kind of going back to her roots and then giving her this new unique thing that really is gonna make her stand out in a way I think Cassiopeia players are really gonna enjoy. Hopefully, we accidentally leaked it already. So
Yeah, that was funny. It went out to PvE for like a day.
Right.
yeah.
Decap had the best response. He's like, well,
So?
we're gonna take it down tomorrow, but have fun playing it. Let
It
me
was
know what you
completely
think.
broken on the PvE though. I think they just had the tooltips. So
Okay.
The other thing I like though is like there's a bunch of one thing that we didn't highlight with the marksman update was there's just a number of little micro marksman changes that we made
Oh,
and nobody
yeah.
actually noticed them. And
Yeah.
then this time around though we're kind of like putting them alongside the core 6.
Well, the major ones are really exciting to me. A lot of these are these really tactical changes of like, oh, this is just the most Xerath you've ever seen Xerath, right?
Right,
Like
yeah.
I really love in a lot of these smaller pushes too.
Fiddlesticks. Okay, well actually
I think you guys are getting one of Chris's favorite champions.
Okay,
No. Talk about the Fiddlesticks thing. How was it?
I'm gonna very briefly talk about the Fiddlesticks thing. It is the greatest thing. It's like the tiniest change, but for some reason I love it because it's so.
I think it's because it's not tiny.
It's actually
He
huge.
gets a move in
Yeah,
Shiva.
but it's like
I think what we're
okay.
talking about is like in terms of like reading it, right?
Right.
You're like,
you know, yeah, he loses
Graves rework
dread.
because it's like 30 lines of
Yeah,
text. You're
I
like,
see.
oh, what are all the new rules? How do I break out the manual? Fiddlesticks is like, oh, that thing that you already do,
stand still,
get fast.
move fast.
Yeah.
Be a scarecrow. You're
Oh,
like,
man.
for me?
Yeah, I'm messing with all of our playtests where I'm like, I don't know what the optimal running pattern is. I'm like, do I stand still? Like, I'll be like running away. I'm like, do I stand still for a second and then I run for 1.5 seconds? Yeah.
Did you guys,
I'm
you
trying
guys
to
get
think.
to play when he actually stopped his animation when he stopped, like a real scarecrow?
Yeah.
Feeny,
Oh, does he?
Feeny didn't let us do that. It was there was a lot of bugs with it, but it was really funny.
Right.
It stopped, he was just like
An angry
actually
tweet
freeze.
Brian Feeney right
Yeah,
after listening
everyone-
to this. There it
yeah.
is.
That's
At
funny.
Riot Feral Pony. But no, the other thing too, Ziggs is awesome. I
Ziggs
think
is so
Ziggs
exciting.
has been one of my
no,
greatest.
No, you're talking about the one where the W just like one shots the building.
It
Yeah.
doesn't
Amazing.
one shot the
Executes.
building. It
It did it in
executes
test.
it.
I swear to God. It's so dumb, dude.
Oh man.
I thought it was really dumb.
All right, James is
I hope
salty.
you guys are excited about it.
I
I'm
think
excited about it.
Okay, great.
Ziggs is one of the biggest disappointments for me in terms of how fun the character is to play and how fun a champion he is. Like he's
Right.
giggling and goofy and he sounds like the goblins. He's like, don't worry, I got this. And then it's like, what do you
Wow.
do? He's like, oh well, I just I farmed to
fun.
500 CS and I make Korean esports the most lame thing to watch ever. It's like, no, we had such high intentions for you.
You
And
were the
so,
one.
And so when I saw the change list, where John Frank, the designer who was working on it, was like, okay, so you know how he clears all the waves? What if he didn't do that, and then he could finish off towers? We're all like, that's it? That's all you want to do? He's like, yep, that's all you want to do. And then we put it into tests, and I was scared. There was like a 25 email long chain of
I saw that, yeah.
everyone
Oh.
from the depths of design past, like
Yeah.
all the ghosts from back in the day when Heimerdinger turret could do it, was
Oh my
like
God.
was like, here's what you need to understand before you do this.
Yeah.
And then I think we settled on it's just kill a tower that was gonna die almost anyways. And it kind of feels a little better in that case.
I like that it's like he goes from this identity of stall the fuck out of everything. Oh, there's my one.
There's your
of
one.
the day. But to like basically he can push hard and he can kind of like end games if you really
Yeah. I like the idea behind it. I don't know why the experience I had playing against it was just like
I got some concerns.
You had a tower, and then Ziggs had your tower.
Well, I mean, to be fair,
and then they just killed me immediately after that.
We had a lot of crazy versions of this one where it's like,
Yeah.
oh, it's under like a half? I don't know. It
I
blew
swear
up.
that's what the one I tested. I was like, I'm very safe right now, and it was just like, no, I'm not very safe
Yeah, I mean,
at all.
we should be very clear. Play tests are a very scary place
There
a
are,
lot of the
yeah.
times, especially during like mid-season where you're like, I don't know what's on the
Yeah, I
map.
don't know what's
I
on
don't
the
know what
Bronze
the
is
champions
scary.
do.
You wouldn't last a second in design playtest.
Come to our
Yeah.
playtest.
No.
Yeah.
So we're almost out of time here. I want to ask you guys honest question. Do you think, because there's all stuff, there's like Rift Herald we didn't even get to. There's a lot of
There's a
other
lot of
changes.
objective
There's a lot of
retuning,
other stuff happening. Do you think this is too much change right now? How do you feel about what's your hopes? What's your feelings coming into midseason?
I feel like that's not a good question to ask me.
Yeah.
Because,
Do you have
because
reservations?
I honestly think like the whole point of League is that it's constantly changing. And like honestly, like who would be playing our game right now if we didn't patch the game every 2 weeks? Like I just don't think people would. And to me, obviously there's a limit to how big the patch is, but I think
Right.
this is the right type of patch that is extremely exciting. It's like an expansion basically, more or less. And it needs to live up to that expectation in my opinion as well. So I don't know. I hope the game changes a lot, and I hope that people. I think League of Legends kind of always walks the line between being familiar but being new at the same time. But I want people to be able to play the champion they like and the ones that they've grown to love over the whatever years that they've been playing the game, but have the place feel different. I think that's one of the themes was like, hey, let's make Summoner's Rift the map feel different this time instead of just changing the champions all the time because we just do that so much already.
Yeah. Chris, Joe, thoughts?
I'm very excited, and I think it'll really depend on how people change their framework essentially and like how they approach the game. Because if you're thinking about this of just like, oh, the game has changed again, what's the optimal way? How do I just do it and win? You might not have as much fun, to be honest. Like I think that this change, to me, it would be most exciting if a player comes in and they're like, hey guys, I see the first dragon. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna start building this way. I'm gonna start doing this. But I think you actually need a shot caller essentially in most of your games. And the times that I have, so I'm a shot caller. Like that's basically like the way that I play. Like I shout really dumb things. We dive, we die. It's excellent.
Or you win, glorious, bloodshed.
Yeah,
all
and
that.
I take all the credit. But it's like if you have people in those games, that's when it's like the most fun. A dude comes in and he goes, "We're gonna do this. I need you all to follow." And that's the coolest. But when you just walk in and everyone's kind of quiet and you're like, what are we going to do? And you just kind of play out, you get a kill in your lane, you just sort of snowball that forward. That to me is kind of like a loss. Like the coolest thing is just to see teams communicating, see guys like really pushing the envelope on that. But I'm excited for this.
I don't know if the dragon will be able to do that by itself.
I don't think it'll be able to do that by itself, but it's just the little hints. It's like objectives are going to be more important. Items, paying attention to this stuff, and hopefully people start to at least pay more attention to that, and then additional changes in the future can really push this.
I get it.
I mean, to me, not to call you out, this is almost a silly question.
Ooh.
Because what, like,
Whoa!
what you are
I am
literally
feeling very called out.
Oh
right now.
my god!
what you are asking me is, do I think we are doing enough to like make the game better? Like, because I mean, that is literally this is our window to make big pushes that we're like, no, this makes the game a better game. Yeah. Previously, we've been doing this honestly once a year in the way that like systems wants to move things forward, right? So this is another chance for us to correct our mistakes when we screw up something in preseason. This is a chance to make some new guesses and obviously really strong hypotheses, hopefully not just raw guesses. But
I feel like you should said explore new spaces. It sounds much more professional.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
this is our chance to explore new spaces.
But I like Joseph's like call out, so we have to keep the whole entire thing. Even
All right.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry. I didn't mean to ask you a silly question, Joseph.
No, but
You should be sorry.
Yeah.
actually.
Well, I feel very sorry. But either way, I mean, it's. I'm glad to have you guys here. Always happy to get the insights. Definitely, you guys should come back and discuss when we do another State of the Game, talking about the hellscape that follows midseason. So for all of you out there listening, get ready for the spotlights, the patch notes, all the other communications that we have coming your way about midseason. We are in the past.
Magic.
As
Magic.
Right, the midseason magic.
Midseason magic.
So I think that is it for us. Go ahead and what is it, Sean? What do we say? Like, comment, and subscribe. We're on iTunes. Give us your upvotes. Do all that kind of good stuff. Give us feedback. Let me know how you're doing. Let us know how you think we're doing. Things like that. Give us your firstborn. Send us your summoner names. Send us friend requests. What are all the things that we're supposed to... All of those. Everything that you do.
Please add me on Instagram.
Just talk to us and stuff.
Yeah. It's just... Sean doesn't let us leave this room, so if you don't,
until we're
we won't
going
know.
down this thing.
All right, cool. Thank you for listening. We'll talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.